Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Silent Issues. I'm Tisha.
I'm Christina, and today we're going to discuss worrying about what other people think.
Yeah, we all do it. Even when we say we don't care about what others think, I know for sure I have experienced this. How about you?
I know I do as a teenager now because I feel like everything I do or like when I move, I feel like someone's going to be worried or care too much, but I think I have to learn that no one really cares that much what I'm doing all the time. And I think it's hard to grasp because when you go like me going into high school, I think everyone's going to be looking at me and staring at me, and I think it's just like a big over the head thing.
See, I'm going to tell you, it's not just a teenage thing. Because as a grown up, I still do the same thing. I think when I go places or even at work, I'm like, what are they thinking? Or because
Mhm.
especially if you see somebody staring
Yeah,
at you.
you don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, like, or a group of people staring towards
Mhm.
you, you start thinking, oh, they're talking about me. And you're like, I don't care. But in reality, you
You
do
do.
care because you're like, okay, what's weird or what's what? Or God forbid you realize later, like you
Something,
had, yeah,
yeah.
like you had food in your teeth
Oh,
or
that
something.
is
You're
so
like,
bad.
oh my God. So everybody was talking about me and no one said nothing to
Yeah.
me. I try to be that person to tell somebody, you have food in your teeth or you have a booger in
Yeah,
your
I
nose or
wouldn't I
something.
wouldn't want that to happen to me.
Yeah, and it happens, and that's what, like, you feel uncomfortable. But I know definitely sometimes there is nothing, and I swear people are judging me or thinking, talking crap about
Mhm.
me, and they might not be, they might
They're
be. I
just they're
can't
just
do nothing.
staring.
But I know what I tend to do is, I don't know if you do the same thing.
Mhm.
I'll put in my head, oh, I don't care. I don't care what people think. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do me. And for the most part, I do that on the outside,
But
but
the
on the
inside.
inside, I'm like questioning, if I wear this, what are people gonna say?
Yeah, I do that when I'm shopping or like when I go past a group of people my age in the store, I usually just go on my phone and pretend to scroll or something because I don't know what to do.
And I think that's a big thing. We all use our phone to kind of like
Distraction.
distraction. All right. Like we use the phone to be like, all right, if I'm not paying attention.
They won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes to what we talked about last week with the anxiety, right?
Mhm.
The social anxiety. I think phones have helped in that way when we're in the street and we're dealing with that social anxiety aspect
Mhm.
to use our
They can
phone.
cover us up and
Yeah,
hide.
like as a crutch. Like if we start reading things, we get distracted from,
Mhm.
our anxiety or our thoughts of people constantly judging us and thinking about, oh, look at her. She thinks she's cute or look what she's wearing or whatever. And I mean, I know like, since I've lost weight and stuff, I know people say to me, and I forget, like I forget that
You
I lost
forget.
weight, and people go, "Oh my God, you look good," and then they right away want to know how you did it or whatever, and you're like put in an uncomfortable situation because
Yeah.
why do I gotta explain myself,
Mhm.
or you're saying I look good now, so did I not look good before, and
Yeah.
so now you start in your mind contemplating, what were they saying about me before, like what were
I
they
think
thinking?
for me too, if I have like a bad hair day at school, I'll think like, "Oh my gosh, today's horrible." But then like my friends will be the same, and it's like, "Oh, maybe today's not bad. Maybe it's just normal day."
Right.
Maybe.
I get it because like when I had to cut my hair last year,
Yeah.
I had to cut it really short because it had got really knotty after I took some braids out, and I was like so traumatized to go to work. Like the
Mhm.
next day, I was like, oh my God, everybody's gonna ask me why'd I cut my hair, and they're gonna make comments and it's not. And people did ask, not as many, of course, as what I thought
Mhm.
or whatever. And but it was so like for me, I was like, oh my God, they're gonna be talking crap on me. They're gonna say this. What do I tell them why I cut my hair? What do I this?
You come up with things before they say it, so you're prepared.
Right. And why? Like I don't know why, but we do it. We are constantly worrying about what people think. Like I was just telling you about KK's party, right?
Mhm.
I'm sitting here contemplating my grandchild wants me to wear like pop star clothes. She's having
Yeah.
a pop star party. She wants me to dress like a pop star like her. I always dress the themes of her party. I try to do
You
that.
go
I
all
enjoy
out.
it. Do it. Right. I go all out. I try to do it. I enjoy it. But say I'm sitting here going, okay, now it's in a place and are people gonna make comments like, oh, what does she think? How old does she think she is? Or why is
Mhm.
she dressed like that? She thinks she's too cute, blah, blah, blah. So like I'm sitting here contemplating what I want to wear because I'm worried about what everybody else thinks. As much as I want to say I don't care, I do care. There's a part
Mhm.
of me I don't like being judged. I don't like I don't like being center of attention, but sometimes things I wear, like for themes,
Yeah.
make me center of attention. And so people think, oh, yes, you must like that. It's not so much I want to be center of attention. I just enjoy having
You enjoy
fun
having, yeah, that
and doing the themes.
participation.
Right, that's fun for me. But when I'm like, even even at work when we have Spirit Week, I sit there and I question. I go, all right, if I wear this, what are they going to say? What, what about this and what about that?
It kind of like dictates your style and how you feel about your clothes, because it's not how you feel, it's about how they feel. So if you're going shopping, you're like, do I like this shirt? Yeah, but will they like this shirt?
Right. Like, are they going to make a comment? Is it to this? Is it to that? So no, I know that's what I deal with. And again, I'm grown and I'm dealing with it. I think for you, even this past week with your Spirit Week, with your band camp, I think you, like you said, you didn't dress one of the days because no one else was.
Yeah.
Like you're basing your decisions on other people because you don't want somebody to say, oh, why is she dressing like that? No one else is dressed like that. But that's the problem. Like we constantly do that. And see, that's where I'm different from you. I'll still do it. I might like I said, for KK's party, I might
worry, but you'll still do it.
Right. I'm going to worry, but hers, I might bring it down a notch because we're going to be in a public place versus a party. I mean, in her yard or whatever.
Yeah.
And just because, like, I don't want it to, I don't want it to
looks. You don't want.
Right. I don't want people to be like, oh, she's trying to make it about herself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas if it's in the backyard, everybody knows me. They know how I am. But in a place where they'll be like, oh, what does she think she's here? It's here for her. But like when we dressed up to go to the Barbie movie, I enjoyed it.
It was a group. It was fun.
But see, you have to do it in a group. That's the thing. I don't mind being the dummy single person doing it. I mean, I do think about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, okay, people are going to stare at me. They're going to look. But because I know I'm doing it for a reason, it's okay. But can I just go out tomorrow just as Barbie? No. I have to have a purpose. Same thing when we dressed up for the Ninja Turtle movie. There was a purpose. Am I going to go outside with that Ninja Turtle shirt really for any other reason? No. Like, it's not going to happen. But, I mean, that's the thing. We constantly worry about what everybody's thinking. And I know for you, you have to be going into 9th grade thinking constantly, all right, what are these kids going to say? Because I'm not trying to be mean, so don't take it that way, but you're a band kid, right? And see, even your face says it. What's the thought process? Kids are, oh, she's in a band. She's
my
weird.
gosh, I saw one of my cousin's friends when I was in the middle of camp, and I was like, oh my gosh. I had to turn my head away. I had to do something else.
Why?
Because I was just embarrassed. I mean, it's something I enjoy, but like I was thinking, like, what do they think?
Well, that's the thing, and you're worried, but yet you're enjoying it. And this is our problem. We do things we like, but we limit ourselves because we're worried about everybody else, Like I said, I like dressing up for themes, but I'm here worried. You enjoy band camp, but yet you're worried about being typecast as one of the band kids. But you know what? You can change that image of what people think about band kids, right? You don't have to have it where, oh, those are not the cool kids, or those are the nerdy kids, or whatever it is, because I know the process, like, you're a band kid. Like, I see it all the time. And I'm not going to sit there and say I don't have the same stereotypes in my mind. I'm like, if I see a kid that's in band that I didn't think, I was like, oh, they're in band? Yeah. That's shocking. But why? Why? It's like, and even
it's because you see some of the weird kids and they like act this certain way. So now all the people that you see have the same thing. You'll be like, oh, they're
right. We associate everybody that's in one group as if they all act and do the same thing. And everybody's different. And you said weird kids, but it's funny because those kids that you're labeling weird
have fun too.
Not just have fun too, but they might look at you and think you're a weird kid. You know what I mean?
Like it's weird because some of my friends are like, they don't talk to anyone. So when I have like school friends that I'll say hi to, they're like, why do you say hi to them? And I'm just like, oh, I just like being social with people sometimes.
So do they stay in their little bubble of just the band kids they talk to? Or
no, I mean, I have other friends.
Not you, your friends. Your friends.
No, they have other friends too. I feel like we're just more comfortable together because we know each other from that specific thing and we bonded from that.
But why then are they questioning why you're talking to other people outside?
No, not like that. They're like, because like they're not social, so they're like, oh, she's social. Like she talks to other people. They're just kind of like
stay to themselves. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They stay within their little group of friends. They're not gonna try to like go out and get new friends because it's not comfortable for them, which probably is that social anxiety, but also that fear of people judging them because, well, they're band kids and nobody wants to be with the band kids, which is not true because you have friends and you do things outside of band that are typical teenagers, but again, like you said, you saw someone and you didn't want them to associate you with band camp. But why, if you're enjoying it? Why, if you're having fun? I can't tell you not to think like that because I'm doing the same thing. You know what I mean? But that's the problem. We constantly allow others to dictate our lives, but yet they might not even think about
most of
us.
the time they're looking at themselves, thinking the same thing.
And you're right about that. Exactly. They might be like, why is she looking at me? What is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Or they happen to be in a group and they look towards your way. It doesn't mean they're actually talking about you, but right away.
But laughing, even just looking at me and laughing, and like it can be like the person next to me, and I'll just be like, no, don't look at me.
I feel you. A big one for me is like at work, and I felt this way at all my jobs. I'm like, when I see a group of teachers together, I'm like, yeah, they're looking over here. Why are they looking over here? Because I'm different. I am different. I'm not a typical teacher. I don't look like a typical teacher. I don't sound like a typical teacher. So I right away in my mind think they're talking about me. Like, look how she is. She thinks this or she thinks that. And they probably aren't, because a lot of them end up being friendly with me and talk to me and stuff like that. And they're nice to me. So it doesn't mean they're not talking about me, let's be real. But in the same sense, I sit there and judge them, and I'm like, oh, those are the mean girls. Like, I'm like,
stereotyping.
I'm like, look at that group. They're the mean girl group. I don't want to mess with them. And then I end up being friends with them, and I'm like, oh, like,
it's kind of like how when I went on my school band trip, I was like, when I went to theme parks with my family, I was like, these people are taking up the lines. And then when I went, I was like, that was so fun. So now every time I look at them, I just remember how much fun I had. And I'm like, yeah, I don't judge them anymore.
Because now you're like, okay, it's not fair that, when we did it, it was okay as a group. But now others are doing it. I'm going to be like, oh, you suck. Like, why are you taking up our space?
Yeah.
But even like you brought up about the theme parks, I think that was a big thing for you. You went to the theme park recently with Ty and, his girlfriend and her kids. And you didn't know them. You never met them a day in your life. And I'm sure in your mind, you're like, they're going to judge me or whatever. Slightly you're thinking it. They might be thinking the same thing. But that was like a big step to not just about,
because when I hear like 16, I'm thinking about the kids in my school and I'm like, uh-oh. But they were actually really nice. So that was nice.
Right. And it was a good experience. And you showed them the theme park and you were like, but I think that gave you, it empowered you because you had more knowledge than the rest of them, so you were able to lead everybody. So you didn't really focus on, do they like me? Do they not?
I was really just focusing on the park because I love the park.
So. Exactly. So that was like a good distraction. So now if you see them again, you might have a different connection. Like you'll have a connection with them, but it won't be like that awkwardness because you already hung out with them.
It's like my friends. When I first met her mom, it was really awkward, and now in the car we all say hi, and it's like fine.
Oh yeah, well, meeting parents, even me, like dealing with parents on the phone or in person, like when we have open house, oh my God, I'm always like feeling like, oh no, they're going to judge me. They're going to be like, oh, this teacher, I don't want my kids in her class. She's weird or she's this. Now, if they're from the city, then I feel like they can relate to me. They're like, all right, she's a city person, so I know why she talks like that. More. Right. But if they're like from PA and more like country, I feel like they're gonna judge me, and what ends up happening is a lot of teachers. Sorry, a lot of the parents like me.
Yeah,
they end up like sending me emails.
You're not like normal teachers.
See, I'm not a normal teacher. You see what she said, right? No, but I mean that's the thing. Like they'll end up liking me because I hold the kids accountable. You know what I mean? And I do communicate with them, but it is so uncomfortable. It is. It's really uncomfortable. I like I said, even now with the kids, I'm dreaming every day. I don't know if you do it. But I'm dreaming about going back to work, and I'm dreaming about like not the students because I don't know them yet, but like
I just don't want people I don't like in my class.
Oh my God! But you can't control that.
No, but
I don't want students that don't listen in my class, but I have no say over that.
Actually, I can probably get my classes changed if I want to. But
yeah, I can't. I don't have that luxury.
You're stuck with them,
and that's the thing. I'm gonna have kids who aren't going to like me, right?
Yeah.
Or that might pretend to like me and talk crap about me. It happens. It is. But it is uncomfortable because even that, when I have kids who will come to me and they'll go, oh, miss, did you hear what such and such was saying about you? And I have to,
control yourself.
Yeah. Truthfully, I care, but I don't care. Like, I don't care that they're talking about me because it is what it is. I can't stop that. But I am concerned sometimes what they're saying. Yeah. Right. I want to know if it's some lie or something like that. If it's just, oh, I can't stand her, she's such a bee, then it is what it is. That's their personal feelings. But if it's, more about like, oh, she did this and she did that and it's not true, that's where I'm more, concerned.
The rumors.
Exactly. But like even the students, they love Yeah, I don't know if your classmates do this. They love to try to cause drama. They'll be like, "Miss, I heard this teacher was talking about you. You know,
Mhm.
how do you feel about that?" And I'm like, "I don't care." And I genuinely don't, because I don't know if the kid's are lying anyway,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna feed into it and go, "Oh, what did they say?
Yeah,
What's
you don't
this?
want to
What's
add on
that?"
to it.
But they love to go, "Oh, let me tell you what they said and what's this and what's that." And sometimes what they say, I know a teacher said it. Honestly, I
Because
can
you.
tell it was
Mhm.
said by a teacher, because it might have been something that we talked about in a meeting or something like that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, in my mind, I'm going,
You can't show
okay,
that.
right. But I'm like, oh, okay, I don't care, whatever. But in my mind, I'm going, information processing, huh? So people are talking crap about me when I'm not around, or even if I'm around. So
Yeah.
then it makes me put up that guard again and start worrying about what people are saying. Now I don't want to talk in front of them. Now I
Mhm.
don't feel comfortable to say things. So, I
We all
deal with
find
that.
that we all find that one teacher that we like.
Well, yeah. And then there's the one teacher you don't like, right? But I mean, just in general with people, you like, there's people you're gonna like, there's people you don't like, but it's bad. I don't know if you feel this way, but
Mhm.
I find it to be worse when it's someone you thought was a friend and they
Yeah.
were talking crap about you.
Yeah, that would be painful.
And I've had it. I've had it. I'm old enough to have experienced it a lot, and it is painful. And then it just makes you trust people less, but it
Mhm.
also makes you constantly think someone is talking crap about you,
Mhm.
that they're always judging you,
The trust, it's not there for people.
right? And that's a big one for me. I don't know if that's I don't
Mhm.
know if that's you, but I say that, right? I say, oh, trust is a big issue for me, but at the same time, I try to go into every new relationship with trust, like.
With a new mindset and new.
Right. Like, you didn't do nothing to me. Let me embrace you. And then
Mhm.
it's when they do something and I'm like,
It fires back, and you're like, why did I do this?
exactly. I'm like, why? 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 Teaching you know better than to trust people. You
Mhm.
know you shouldn't. And because I find out they were talking that crap. So I think that's what makes us constantly, believe that people are talking about
Mhm.
us, and
The lies.
constantly, yeah, and constantly worried about what others think. We're constantly thinking about it. We're constantly having that in our mind, like, oh, they're thinking, talking about
Mhm.
me because of our experiences,
Yeah.
because of those things that happen. It's not just we're
Out of
mean
nowhere.
people, right? We're like, oh, I'm just gonna not like anybody. I'm gonna think everybody talks about me. No, there's a reason behind it. So with that said, we gotta kind of like think about that and not let it
Mhm.
control us.
Join us next week, Monday, as we discuss technology obsessions. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Silent Issues 2024.